Mark Kullberg, and my rank was FTG2 E5. At that time it was in dry dock and there was a lot of work going on, so I would say it was a real pretty sight, but the ship itself and the 16-inch guns and all the stuff, I mean, it was yeah, it was pretty impressive. I mean, it definitely kind of a surreal experience to see it for the first time and know that you were going to be on that ship and you were going to be getting underway eventually. We lived on barges tied up to the pier, so that's kind of the, you know, that was kind of my first I guess few months in the military, in the Navy. So I didn't really know anything about the ship actually. I knew nothing about the ship, so and then, you know, I got the orders to go there, and everybody seemed kind of excited, but, you know, I didn't know the history of the ship. I didn't know, when I first went in, I was actually contemplating submariner and going through the 6-year of the nuke program. Then I backed out, went to the 4-year, and, you know, went to FT, but yeah, I really didn't know much about the ship, quite frankly. I didn't, you know, wasn't until I got to Long Beach till I really fully understood what it really was, you know, and then it was pretty amazing. You know, especially when it's in dry dock, it's pretty amazing. That thing is a beast. So it was a lot of work, you know. That they had the sailors, you know, they had, you know, the folks at the pier, you know, the workers and stuff. They did the predominant amount of work on the ship, the welding and all that stuff that was going on. Since I was on the ship at such an early date, you know, they were trying to find things for us to do. So we were what we call fire watch. We'd go on the ship, and they'd assign a weld. We'd get assigned to a welder, and we'd basically carry around basically a fire extinguisher. Make sure that, you know, if there's a fire started, that's our job. Put the fire out, small or big. Sometimes, you know, that was night and day. So if you were on watch, you know, I remember being, I think at one point, I think I was up on the very top of the mast. I think it's what, 15 stories up, you know, in the middle of the night. It's in Long Beach, you know, with a welder, you know, up there, just sitting up on the 15th deck, you know, up there in the middle of nowhere. And then they eventually started giving us, as we went along, they started giving us what we call the infamous needle gun. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's a needle gun. It's a pneumatic gun. Fire control directors, we call them the Sky 1, Sky 2, Sky 3, Sky 4. They're kind of like a little house all by themselves. They got a radar. So they literally, the FTs, they would give us a needle gun. We'd check out, we'd go on the ship, and we would go up, and this needle gun basically cleans an area about yay size, and you're doing a house with this thing. So you're taking off all the old paint, so that they can do the red lead on it and then repaint it.